ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Norristown Area High School. I'm Neil Schaefer along with John Price, and tonight we have the Norristown Eagles versus the Pennridge Rams. John, let's talk about the playoffs first. You talked to Coach Morgan about the playoff situation. What do we have there?
Yeah, I had an opportunity to speak with Coach Morgan a little bit before the end of the JV game, and she indicated that she has declared her intention to go ahead and enter the team into the playoffs this year. Apparently on Saturday of this week, there's going to be a seedings meeting at one of the local high schools, and at that point they'll see who their first game is going to be. But she definitely said that they will be taking the team into the playoffs.
Now, how many teams are picked in that seeding meeting?
Well, they have openings for 32 teams to be in the formal playoffs, and if more teams than 32 declare for District 1, then they eliminate teams by virtue of playoffs.
All right, so Norristown is looking for a postseason play in the District 1 playoffs. Tonight we're looking at a Pennridge team who has a player who stands 6'2". Is that going to pose a problem for the Eagles?
Well, I think we've seen game in and game out a height disadvantage for Norristown. Natalie Yoder's done a great job, and Jessica Munson's also done a great job down low, along with Tamay Ellis and a couple others, trying to combat a decided height disadvantage. I think that the 6'2" player for Pennridge tonight is a freshman, hopefully a little bit inexperienced also.
We've seen height disadvantages or height advantages fall to the Eagles before, and I think we'll see it. We know that Norristown plays tenacious defense and aggressive offense. Okay, John, we're ready for the game?
Yeah, we'll join you back for the opening tip. We're back, and welcome to the broadcast tonight from Norristown Area High School. The Lady Eagles are hosting the Rams of Pennridge. And at this point in the league, we touched a little bit in the pregame about the standings. Norristown is carrying a 9-10 overall record. They're 5-8 in the league. And Pennridge shapes up at 13-7 overall, 9-4 in the league in the Suburban 1 National Colonial Division, which puts them in second place, Neil.
Sort of locked up there. Central Bucks West with a 9-4, Pennridge with a 9-4, and Central Bucks East with a 9-4. Norristown there with a 5-8, but we're looking ahead to district play. The starting lineups for Pennridge tonight: Misty Benefield will start. Number 14. Number 11 is Terry Zarka. Number 23 is Nicole Jarrett. Number 5 is Jess Rinditz. Number 12 is Tara Herman. How about for the Eagles?
We've got our starting lineup is Jessica Munson, number 33. Nancy Strakowski's 22. Melissa Kelly, 20. Jackie Cresswell's 32. And Natalie Yoder is number 13. And the Pennridge Rams control the opening tap. They immediately go to the three-point bomb, and it's converted by Jess Rinditz, I believe is the pronunciation of her name.
We'll go with Rinditz.
She opens up with a three-point bomb and lets it go. And Pennridge is a good team. After hearing the records, as Jessica Munson pulls up and goes a little bit short, technically speaking, then Norristown's in second place. We've got 3 people locked up for first, and Norristown's in second, but that really doesn't affect a whole lot of what goes on in the postseason anyway.
And that could change tonight as the Pennridge Rams take on the Eagles. They could drop to 9-5, or they can move ahead into first place. What happens with Central Bucks East and Central Bucks West, we'll have to see.
Well, as far as getting into playoffs, it doesn't affect it, but I'm sure that it does impact your seedings. Melissa Kelly sees Jessica Munson. She goes up, puts it up with a strong move in the left hand. Breaks the ice for Norristown. It's 3-2 with 7:05 left. Norristown's coming off, since we last joined you, a loss at home to West, and then a victory on the road at Tennant. And Jessica Munson had 18 points in that victory. However, the Tennant coach indicated that he really felt Melissa Kelly was the key, as so many people do come and watch this Norristown team. Of course, to go along with the ball handling skills of Melissa Kelly, you do need people to be in the right place at the right time, and she does have a good supporting cast to do that, Neil. Pennridge a little short from the outside. Jessica Munson with the board. Work the ball across the middle. Munson on the drive again with the left. She comes up a little bit, and that height advantage.
Norristown looking like they're only getting one shot, and then they have to come back down and play some defense. They need Natalie Yoder to step up and get some offensive rebounds and get some putbacks, score some points.
We're tied up right now in the early going. 6.5 minutes left. It's 3-all. Correction. 5-3 Pennridge on a bucket by Tara Herman, I believe. Munson working against the pressure from Pennridge. Gets the ball into the capable Melissa Kelly, whom we just mentioned. Works it inside to Munson, who's great working the block. and she goes strong to the basket. She's got all 5 of Norristown's points so far tonight. It's Pennridge 5, Jessica Munson 5.
They pretty much broke the press on that one. Norristown had sort of a laxed press there, and the Rams ran right through it.
Well, this is a little bit of an interesting defensive strategy, Neil. I believe Norristown's in his zone defense, which is very unusual. Ow!
That one hurt.
Yikes! Terry Arca, 6-foot senior center, plunges to the floor hard, and she's visibly shaken, a little bit upset. And I believe they call her with traveling.
I think that was a traveling call. It was a tough traveling call for a basketball player.
Wow.
She'll feel that one
Kelly
tomorrow.
breaks the press, no-look pass to the wing. Cresswell puts it up, no good. Yoder gets tied up inside with Misty Benefield from Pennridge.
Yoder battled for that one, and luckily she got the possession error going her way. Norristown that ball.
Norristown, and the inbound goes to Strakowski. Rebound kept alive, or an attempt to be kept alive by Munson, but she knocks it out of bounds. 5-5, 5:28 left in the first quarter. Here's Norristown's full court press that has been so successful for them all season long. We've got to travel. Misty Benefield, or I'm sorry, Terry Zarka got a little excited with the ball.
Yeah, 6-foot senior Terry Zarka, and doesn't look like she's used to handling the ball. She listed as a center, and she is the tallest girl on the floor right now. She didn't really have us right there.
Well, notable is the absence of number 21, Jenna Ruddiger, a 6'2 freshman who is not on the court right now. We mentioned her in the pregame. As Norristown works the ball across the perimeter, Kelly gets a good look at the basket. The ball rattles in, and as we've seen so many times, bounces right out. And Natalie Yoder, would you believe it? She's on the floor again, Neil.
Hey,
I can't believe it. Battling for
I would
rebound.
believe that. Come on, John. We've seen Natalie Yoder, who stands at like 5'9". She goes right down the floor as soon as the ball is loose. She's not to get in there and mix it up with the defense.
We get a up-close look at Misty Benefield from Pennridge, and I noticed the headband, kind of a fashion statement worn by some of the Pennridge players this evening. First time we've seen that.
Sort of reminiscent of Curly Neal from the Harlem Globetrotters. We have 4 Pennridge girls with 2 different colors. I don't know if that's a uniform violation, but maybe it's the headbands that are keeping the victories.
Well, I hope they don't have Curly's handle on the rock, because that would be a big problem tonight.
We have a foul. That's going to be on Missy.
Norristown gets possession of the ball. Was Curly your favorite Globetrotter, Neil?
I don't know. I think Meadowlark Lemon was my favorite because he always used to play the pranks on
He did, and then Geese Osby inherited the role.
Oh boy, we're really showing our age now, John. I don't think many people can name more than 3 Harlem Globetrotters.
Maybe we should have a contest.
We've already named 3. That's pretty scary. We have a little break in the action here. Referees disagreeing on something. It gives us a little time to extend our congratulations to a Norristown boy basketball player who just signed on with North Carolina State. That's Lofton Thompson, signed on with the Wolfpack to play football in the fall. He had a choice of Michigan State and Virginia and the Wolfpack of North Carolina State, and he took NC State. So we wish Lofton the best, and we have another foul here on Pennridge.
Tara Herman got called with the push-off for Pennridge. And we're almost in the action here as the inbound pass takes place. Munson, a lot of the inbounding chores, gets it into Kelly, and across to Cresswell with a nice crossover dribble. Strakowski with a good effort to keep the ball in bounds. Sets the offense back up. 4:24 left in the first quarter. It's still 5-all as Strakowski eyes up her favorite three-point shot. She likes to take it from that corner. Kelly decides to take that one. Can't connect. Cresswell with the rebound. Once again, Pennridge and Norristown get tied up. Jump ball called.
I guess in all fairness, John, we should congratulate Jess. She's going to go on to Princeton University. She's received a grant from them for her education, so good luck to Jess as well. We don't want to be unfair here.
Well, that's impressive. You wouldn't think that that's someone who has already earned herself some money towards college, the way that she's constantly out there fighting. And as I mentioned that, she's on the floor battling for a rebound. Kelly gets it, and she gets fouled from behind. She'll be going to the line, shooting 2.
Let's see who this foul is going to be on. It's going to be on number 20. I'm sorry, not 20. Maybe it'll be 12. Yes, 12. I'm sorry. That's
I think that's her
Tara
second.
Herman. That's her second. And you know they have 4 fouls already, John. That's going to play. That could play big in the second quarter when they're shooting 1-on-1 real early.
Well, if there is one thing I've noticed so far early on in the game here, Neil, it's the fact that this is an incredibly physical Pennridge squad. They're in there and they're wreaking havoc, and they're fouling a lot.
That's right. And that could cost them in the long run.
The close game as Kelly hits 1 of 2 from the line and is the only other scoring member of the Norristown team, as Jessica Munson tries to pad her total to 7 but misses. She stays at 5. Kelly's got 1 for Norristown as they hold a 1-point lead with 3.5 minutes left. Scramble for the loose ball. Some bumping going on inside. Pennridge ball. And we've got another traveling violation. This is a tight game being called by the referees right now. Pennridge on the negative receiving end of a lot of these calls.
And right before that traveling call, we saw Norristown break into a man-to-man. And I really think in this kind of game, that's going to be more successful than the zone. I think they can match up against Pennridge. I think they have a little more speed. So we'll have to see whether they go man-to-man or zone the whole way. There's Jess.
Well, Jessica Munson finds a crease and draws another foul. Looks like number 22 for the Rams called something. That's Kristin Hazard, who's a senior. She's a 5'8" guard. Pretty good size.
That's right. That's right. And we see on the floor now we have that number 21, Jenna Ruddiger. She is 6'2" as a freshman, so she's probably looking to be a real force in the Pennridge basketball program in the future.
I think she's about 6'2", and she looks like she's about 78, 79 pounds maybe.
That's right. That's right. She's got that Sean Bradley look.
Very slight of frame. First. Second finds its way in. She's got 7 points on the night. She's perfect from the line on all 3 tries. 8-5. Norristown is in the lead with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Pennridge working against Nancy Strakowski and the pressure defense. Gets the ball to the wing where they double team. Munson and Strakowski, good job. Ball goes off Strakowski, and they certainly put Nicole Jarrett in a bad spot.
That's right. Trap defense worked for Norristown. They stopped him there.
Rebound attempt. Pennridge's Nicole Jarrett, who we just mentioned, got the rebound after a battle with Jessica Munson and puts the ball in for the score. That's the first time we've seen Natalie Yoder get her hands on the ball in an offensive scoring situation. And I would say that 70% of gets the ball in there, she ends up going to the line.
That's right. Hopefully she's worked on her foul shots. Hopefully this week she's been making her shots at the stripe, and she can put the Eagles up by as much as 3 here. That's another foul on Misty Benefield. She's got 2 fouls. We've got 2 players with 2 fouls. We got 6 fouls on Pennridge, no fouls on Norristown. Now that's going to play, I think, play a key in the second quarter. We're going to be shooting 1-on-1 at the next foul, so that's great for Norristown. Although they have to make them too. That's another thing.
It is. This foul shooting issue becomes more and more critical, especially as you enter into the postseason. As Yoder hits 1 of 2. Norristown lead now is 9-7, and the full court press looks like they called kind of a ticky-tack foul. I'm not sure if it's on Munson or Kelly. We'll find out in a second.
It's going to be on Kelly.
It's on Melissa Kelly. It's the first foul of the evening for Norristown. Hopefully we didn't jinx them by saying they didn't have any up till now.
That's right.
And Strakowski plays a little bit of a catch-up as Misty Benefield kind of gets behind her. 2-point shot attempt from pretty far outside. That was Nicole Jarrett who connects, and that puts Pennridge on top 10-9. Kelly and Munson work against the press. Yoder tries to get position down low. Cresswell gets a nice look at the basket. If it was only that easy all game long.
That's right. Nicole Jared, the girl who was defending her, just around and just watched that ball go in. It's sort of like an outfielder just watching it go over the outfield wall. 3-point attempt.
In and out. Rebound by Strakowski. Over to Munson, kicks it out to Kelly. One-handed baseball skip pass across the Cresswell. The ball just beats the Pennridge defender to Munson, but she hurries the shot and doesn't have enough arc on it. And it bounces short. Kristin Hazard, 5'8" senior guard, brings the ball down. Kelly gambles on the steal. Does a great job anticipating.
Pennridge going to their bench. They've used 7 players so far, whereas Norristown, they haven't used anybody.
Once
Coach
again,
Morgan just keeping those 5 out on the floor.
Once again, I've drawn the choice team in scoring for Norristown with a lot fewer substitutions coming from the bench of Dottie Morgan, Coach Morgan. Misty Benefield working against Strakowski, and Melissa once again cuts in front, and this time it's off Pennridge, so she harasses him into a turnover. Pennridge maintaining their high pressure defense. Jessica Munson up top, she certainly is not shy of shooting this evening. She misses that one. There's a minute left in the first quarter.
She was robbed on that one, John. It was in and out, and it's a shame because they could have taken a 13-9 lead. We're under a minute now. They're holding Pennridge, though. They're playing tenacious defense in the penetration, and that's what you need.
Well, I think we're looking at a good stepping stone tonight for the Eagles heading into the end of the season. We've only got 1 game left, and that's a home game. I think it's against Central Bucks East on Friday, as we see a backdoor to Herman from Misty Benefield. They do a good job of reading the defense, and then they come right back with 3 people in Norristown side of the court doing a pressure against 2 Eagles who do the job. Cresswell works the ball back out. Kelly goes in, can't make the shot. She's tried 3 of those tonight and couldn't make it, but Jessica Munson, right place, right time. Looked like Cresswell tried to knock it off one of the Pennridge legs and couldn't do it.
John, there had to be a foul under that basket somewhere. All these arms grabbing, somebody had to be grabbing at something.
Well, Melissa Kelly got grabbed, and she's going to the line with 9 seconds left. The teams are knotted at 11 apiece.
A lot of shooting opportunities there for Norristown, and then when Jackie Cresswell did get the ball, she tried to bounce it off the leg of a player, but it didn't work. Melissa Kelly got it on the kickback, and now she's on the line.
She's shooting 2. Up and in with the first one. Gives her second point of the night as Pennridge with another substitution. That's my favorite player, Jess Rinditz.
You're going to pronounce that about 10 different ways tonight, John.
He comes in for Terry Zarka.
That's the opposing team.
In an interesting substitution with 9 seconds left. Maybe she's taller. Kelly goes long on the second one.
They might be able to get a last shot off. We got 5, 4, 3, 2,
knocked
1.
away
Looks
by
like
Cresswell.
Norristown held him there.
Throws it up. Might have been too late. Doesn't matter. First quarter ends 12-11.
Hard fought first quarter, John. 12-11, a 1-point lead for the Eagles. You know, coming into this game, Pennridge probably has a better record on paper, but it looks like Norristown's really controlling them. And I think one thing that they're doing is they're cutting them off around the 3-point arc. Okay, they're stopping penetration. As long as they stop penetration all night, I think they'll come away with a victory off here.
Well, I know it's a little bit premature, but right off the bat, Tara Herman has 6 points for Pennridge. That's got to be of concern to Coach Morgan. She's a sophomore.
That's right. Tara Herman, she only stands 5'2", so she's one of the shorter players out there. We have to look at Jenna Ruddiger. She's 6'2", and we have Terry Zarka, who's 6 foot. So there's a couple girls who really haven't been in the scoring yet, and you would think maybe down the stretch, getting a lot of offensive rebounds can stack up some points.
Speaking of offense, so far the bulk of the offense for Norris, Jessica Munson, she's got 7 points and hasn't found herself wanting for lack of shots.
Sorry, I've been keeping an unofficial count of the shooting percentage in Norristown, so right around 50%. Pennridge is just a little bit below 50%, so the teams are just about even.
Pennridge working against a tough pressure defense. Nancy Strakowski gets so close to picking that ball off, but they knock it out of bounds. Well, even if you don't get possession, you sure make the offense a little next time they're dribbling the ball around.
Boy, Terry Zarka just got away with a major travel there, but referee's been calling a pretty good game.
There's been plenty of stoppages in play for traveling and also for fouls, as Misty Benefield does a little bit curly kneel impression of her own, dribbling around a little bit. Shots long, rebound by Terry Zarka, and she gets fouled going back up. And I think this is Pennridge's first opportunity from the line this evening.
We had opportunity, and they were 1 for 1, but this will be Terry's first trip to the line, and that's Norristown's only Norristown's second foul, and that was on who was that on, John? That was on Natalie Yoder. So she only has 1 foul, and Norristown only 2, and that I think is going to play key down the stretch. Keeping the fouls low, keeping Pennridge off of that line. Terry Zarka makes her first one.
She ties up the score with the first. Here's an interesting coaching move. You've got the tallest player on the court in a rebounding position. As the ball comes off a little bit short, Yoder couldn't get control of it. Tara Herman grabs it, and it's a jump ball call, possession arrow favoring the Eagles. And Norristown is up against a pressure defense I don't think we've seen. It looks like a diamond and one pressure defense. And they call in some added help as Cresswell moves the ball over as they do a nice job breaking the press to Munson, but Munson can't do anything with it, and she turns the ball over. Rinditz from Pennridge gets the ball, does a nice couple spin dribbles in there, double pump, gets the ball off against Kelly, and there she is, Jenna Ruddiger. There's an impact, gets a rebound, puts the ball up, and that puts Pennridge in control, 14-12. Strukowski way out on the wing, goes long.
Another foul against Pennridge. That's gonna be number 8.
Jackie Cresswell takes the bump as another Jackie Waite, gets set to come in for Natalie Yoder. And Jackie Cresswell will be 1-1.
Foul was on Terry Zarka. That's her first, so Pennridge spreading out the fouls, but already they have 8, 2 more, and they have that penalty where they have to shoot 2 on every foul.
Cresswell has a field goal so far tonight, so she'll get a chance to pad her scoring line. Strukowski comes out, and Amy Jablonski comes in, who complements Melissa Kelly very well.
Amy Jablonski, a 5-foot sock who got to see a lot of time when Melissa Kelly was down with her concussion. And I'll tell you, Amy Jablonski is one nice girl. I see her in the hallway. She's always saying hi to me. She's always saying, hey, you're doing a good job on the announcing, so we have to give a plug for Amy Jablonski.
Now, do they get the suburban cable TV where she lives, or is she just trying to butter you up?
No, I think she really gets the cable. I got some other comments from some parents, and they really think that we're doing a great job, and they wonder if we can do it for the softball games, too, which I don't think I've ever commentated the softball game.
Well, I'll tell you what, I enjoy doing this. It's always fun and exciting. And speaking of excitement, Munson strips Pennridge clean. Kelly goes up high off the glass and converts. 16-14 Norristown. Kelly is hanging the pocket of Rinditz. She's right on her. She got away with a little bit of a smack there. But Rinditz gets a chance to dribble out of it and converts. One tied, 16-all. This is a back-and-forth seesaw game. 6:10 left. Jablonski sets the offense back up with Kelly, who goes for 3 again. She's taken, I think, 4 three-point shot attempts tonight.
That's right. And
Coach Morgan apparently told Kelly and Munson both to not hesitate when they get the ball.
Seems like they're forcing the shot, though. If they're only going to get 1 shot, it better be a good shot, and that didn't look like it was right on.
Amy Jablonski does a great job just staying in her player's face, coming up with the ball. And at this time, she is setting up the offense. Kicks it out to the wing. Now, Norristown, this is patient for Norristown. Usually they don't get this many touches around their half of the court before a shot comes off. Kelly takes care of that. That one came off a little bit long. Looks like she had a little problem with the grip on that. Tara Herman draws the foul, and she'll have a chance to put the Pennridge Rams up.
Foul was on Amy Jablonski. That's going to be Amy's first foul as Nancy Strukowski comes back in the game and gives Melissa Kelly a rest. So Coach Morgan going a little more to the bench, giving her starters a little rest. She's gone too deep on the bench now as Pennridge has gone pretty deep on their bench. All but one player has played for the Rams.
Well, this is a great opportunity to get some and give some of your key players a break with 5 minutes left. There's 5:15 actually to go in the second quarter, so you've got a chance to sit them out for a couple minutes and still put them back in with plenty of time left to go before the half. Herman misses the first, connects on the second, putting Pennridge up. Miscommunication on the inbound from Munson to Jablonski. And Pennridge ends up controlling that off of a steal. And there's some bang in there. The freshman, Jenna Ruddiger, is doing a little bit extra blocking. She looked like a guard pulling around the corner, trying to congest the area to free Tara Herman for Pennridge, but it cost her, and that's the costly foul on the offensive end of the court. When you foul, then you end up shooting some
that's
shots.
Right. That's what I was talking about, John. Now they're going to go down and shoot one-on-one. Jackie Waite to the line. She can give the Eagles a tie or maybe a goal shots. Pennridge is going to pay for these. She misses the first one, unfortunately.
Waite wastes no time at all, gets the ball and fires it right up. Not one dribble, doesn't even hardly consider the rim, and we've got a traveling call. I'll tell you, Pennridge certainly is prone to turnovers, and when you're playing a team as active on defense as Norristown, that is a dangerous thing to do. Jablonski goes up over the top of the press to Cresswell, and they have a little bit of a time against the pressure defense from Pennridge. Munson over to Waite, who pushes a shot up, can't make it. They'll keep possession of the ball.
Norristown gets a second shot here, luckily.
Wait a minute, maybe not.
Oh, it's going to be Pennridge ball. I thought that was off a foot of Pennridge.
Well, so far, Pennridge has been able to break this press by going way long over the top, and Strakowski had been trailing behind, but that time it looked like they took that into consideration.
Pretty quiet tonight. She doesn't have any points yet. And we've been stagnating here. It's almost been a minute and a half since anyone's scored, so we're looking for some scoring here from either team.
Cresswell comes out. Melissa Kelly back on the floor for the Lady Eagles. Misty Benefield in the black headband, looking a little bit like Cliff Robinson.
Cliff Robinson.
Until the half. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Morgan comes up with. It's a opportunity for them to get some motivation going into the half.
That's right. Just unofficially here, Norristown shooting about 33% from the field now. Pennridge 5 of 14. That's just over 33%. So no team is really lighting up the boards with scoring, but it's a close game. It's 19-16, and there seems to be a lot of turnovers and a lot of fouls on the Pennridge side. They're up to 9 already.
He has one, Kowski has none. So those two players combined for a total of 1 point. And I know Coach Morgan not only would like them to score, but they have to score for Norristown to remain competitive for the balance of this game. Well, that's the old-fashioned three-point play. It's good, and Melissa Kelly draws a foul.
That's going to be Jess's second foul.
Well, she gets done with a three-point play and tries to handle the press, but can't. 20-16, Pennridge lead. Yoder in for Waite to shoot a little bit better than that. Jessica Munson finds herself with the ball in a great position. She gets fouled, can't make the shot, but she's going to the line.
And I think Jess is a better free throw shooter than we've seen the rest of the Eagles, so hopefully she can pull the Eagles closer here.
Well, they're getting a workout from the line, and this is a chance for them to hone their free throw skills in competitive action versus shooting around at practice.
That's right.
And Munson makes another one. She's 4 out of 4. And the charity stripe gives her her 8th point. She's been in a scoring drought for the entire second quarter, and she busts out of that. She's got 9 points and a perfect 5 for 5 from the line. Pennridge has Jen Strauss handling some of the pressure there. But back up to Misty Benefield, who's closely guarded, and it looked like they saw a backdoor opportunity. But Rinditz, who's covered by Kelly, had her hands full and couldn't make it back. Turnover created by the very aggressive Norristown defense.
Yep, and Tara Herman checks back in the game. Tara has 7 points so far, and she's second in the Pennridge scoring, but she does control the floor out there.
Ow,
that's a tough
that
one.
Hurts. Melissa Kelly gets called as the referee with an eagle eye on the line. Melissa tries to dribble out of a trap and steps to the line, which gives Pennridge the ball. And they're also leading 20-18. Jablonski out. Cresswell checking in. Man-to-man defense off the inbound. Usually they go to a zone on an inbound play. And Rinditz draws a foul. Looked like Yoder had position, Neil.
Yeah, it looked like she was down there standing, waiting for someone to drive baseline, and she probably is going to feel that one. She's shaking it off right now. I thought it was a pretty cheap foul. But the referees have been calling a pretty good game, and now that 2 free throws out of this because Pennridge is up to the 10 foul. Terry Zarka sits on the bench. She has 2 fouls.
Yoder can get Norristown within 2 with 3:10 left to go until the half. And this is a chance for her to contribute to the scoring, which she's been absent from in large part so far this game, and she does there. She hits the first. Makes her 2 for 3 from the line tonight. Pennridge not in the bonus yet. They'll inbound the ball. Herman and Rinditz seem to be the key for this Pennridge team thus far. The height really hasn't been that much of a factor so far tonight.
There's another charge Pennridge just got away with.
Kelly is so quick. She gets herself in such great position.
And she had her feet still, too. I really thought that should have been a charge.
Whoa, a little skipping around there up top by Benefield. Pennridge really milking some time off the clock. Whoa, Kelly, she's sliding into home, knocks the ball away.
Well, she does play softball, so she's used to that, but she bounced off the court there. She was down the court. She got up so quickly, we didn't even have time to
I was going to say,
rush.
how quickly did she get up?
I don't think she wants to feel the pain.
Looked like
I think she just wants to get right back up.
That looked like a grass drill from football practice that she was involved in, and she could probably be a pretty good football player,
That's right.
judging from her tenacity on the basketball court. As the D-back, she turns. There's no one home. Good idea, though. She finds herself on the floor and gets up a lot slower on that time to the floor. Cresswell from long range, that looked good from here. She goes long, and Strakowski gets a little bit aggressive on her offensive rebound attempt.
Yep.
And she gets called for a shove from behind, her first foul of the night.
That's right. Norristown moves into the one-on-one now as Jess Rindens will go to the line to shoot one-on-one. Dominating. It doesn't seem like any team is really overpowering the other team. It just seems like it's like really choppy water out there.
It is choppy, and I'm sure Norristown would like to get him in a sprint fest. Rindens hits her second.
First
to put
player in
Pennridge up by
double
4.
figures. Jess Rindens has 10.
Norristown works against the pressure. They do a good job. Kelly creates her own seam. Up top to Munson, who had a clean look, decides against it. Kicks it back out to Kelly, who hasn't found a look that she didn't think was clean so far. She goes long. Rinditz pushes the ball up quickly, but a little bit too quickly. They lose the handle. Kelly up to Munson. We've seen this quite often. Munson with the left-handed shot off the fast break from Kelly. The basket's good, and she's going to the line.
That was a good play. That was a real aggressive play and really an athletic play. Melissa threw it out in front of Jess. Jess had to run the ball down, plus fight off a defender and make the basket, and that's what she did, and she can go to the line.
I think that's Jess Rinditz, and it is number 5 with the body. Kelly to the line.
Foul. That's going to be a third foul. That's going to come into play down the stretch. She's your top scorer right now. She's a ball handler, and she's got 3 fouls. And I noticed one thing. As soon as Melissa Kelly heard the whistle, she just turned around and walked right to the line. She knew that was a foul. That's an experienced player. She knows what's going on in the game.
Well, ouch. It doesn't matter how you manufacture the points. You don't need to hit a 3-point shot or a field goal. If you can dribble the ball and find yourself with an advantage against a defender who has to foul when you're in the bonus, it's just as good as hitting a jump shot.
That's right.
And it's even better because it puts the other team at a disadvantage as they accumulate fouls. Kelly hits 1 of 2.
She got away with that one.
And she's got 5 points tonight. Long range shot for Pennridge, comes off the front of the rim. Rinditz with an attempt. Looked like she was going to do the NBA special, grab the ball in the air and call a timeout, but
she just didn't have enough height. We see a substitution, Jen Strauss, coming in, and now Penn on all the way to the end of their bench.
Well, I think Coach Zamra's recognized the need for Rinditz to get off the court and not pick up another cheap foul because they're going to need her into the second half. And for her to have 4 fouls, that would surely cut down on her playing time when they come out for the second half. Strakowski with a 3-point shot. Jessica Munson plays so much bigger than she is, gets in great position, grabs the rebound. Doesn't make the shot, but she's on the line.
Yeah, the sheet reads 5'6", but she plays like she's 6'6". She's just right in there.
Comment wasn't necessarily a compliment. I apologize for any if that was taken the wrong way.
I'm sure she'll talk to you later.
First thing that came to mind.
Your nicknames. Chris Berman, you're not right now. Oh, that's a cheap foul. That was just an aggressive foul, and that looked like a loose ball, too.
Strakowski with her second foul. Well, it's interesting. Norristown is tied with Pennridge at 24 all, and usually they don't have this much success when Strakowski has more fouls. 0.1 seconds remain in the second quarter. Good opportunity for one team or the other to build some momentum to take into the locker room at the half. She makes the second. They stop the clock for a substitution. Rinditz comes on and then immediately leaves the court. Kelly goes up top to break the press with 12 seconds left. Munson, ill-advised pass to Cresswell that was intercepted. Anticipated well by Pennridge, and her.
For Pennridge, it looked like Jess Rindins really controlled the floor for Pennridge. She controlled the scoring. She had 12 points. Tara Herman scored a lot of points early, but she was quiet in the second quarter. She has 7 points, and there's Terry Zarka, who has 3 points. But the one thing we have to mention is Jess Rindins has 3 fouls, and she picks up an early one there in the third quarter, and she'll be sitting the bench.
Well, that would only serve Norristown well. At this point, Jessica Munson leads Norristown with 12 points. Melissa Kelly has 5. Jackie Cresswell with 4, and Natalie Yoder, who I know they need more points out of, has 3. And speaking of lack of points, Nancy Strakowski needs to get on the board, and they need some support from the bench in the form of Jackie Waite, Amy Jablonski, maybe Tamay Ellis can come in and chip in. Typically speaking, when Norristown is successful, they're going to get some additional help from the bench.
Yeah, I would think that Coach Morgan would be going on the bench more often, but that's up to her. I saw some great play in the JV game from Tina McClellan. She was really aggressive, and she really wanted to win. Unfortunately, the JV lost to Rams 31-29, but Tina McClellan, I think she has a future. She has a future at Norristown. She's a real aggressive player, and I'd like to see her get a little varsity time. And with a 2-point lead or a 2-point deficit, you might want to put in another player just to give them a rest.
Well, right now, Coach Morgan seems satisfied with the 7-girl rotation that she plans probably on utilizing most heavily throughout the playoffs, but it's not a bad idea to build some depth as we see the half-court shot competition going on at halftime. And what we're going to do is rejoin for the start of the third quarter as Norristown tries to come back from a 2-point deficit here. And we'll be back for third quarter action from Norristown Area High School. Well, welcome back to Norristown Area High School, where the Lady Eagles are right now at a 2-point deficit against the Pennridge Rams.
Hey, John, we had a pretty exciting halftime show there. We had a couple half-court shots going in.
I know, all kinds of money exchanging hands at the half. It's pretty exciting stuff going on. If you happen to get down here, you can make a little pocket money.
That's right.
Watch some good hoop action.
That's right.
It's a good deal. I'd like to also welcome and actually thank you for taking the time to watch us here on Suburban Cable TV via Norristown Area High School.
I talked to Melissa Kelly's mother right before during the JV game, and she said,
"You're always working, Neil."
Hey, I'm always working. I'm always trying to find out how we're doing.
Always looking for an angle.
She always said, "Hey, you're really good on that cable. I just happened to turn it on, and there was the game, and I heard these 2 guys who knew what they were talking about." And I'm thinking, well, that wasn't us then. It was somebody else. But no, she said we're doing a good job, and she was the one who suggested we do it for softball. But I don't know. I'm not a big. I don't know how we'd call a softball game. I don't know where we'd put the camera, but. All right, we already see an aggressive game already. They tried to dish it inside to Natalie Yoder, and nothing worked there.
Well, the choppy first half has carried over already into the second half. Tara Herman goes across the middle. Finds Nicole Jared open, but she goes off long. And Terry Zarka can't put it in either. Jess Rinditz is now in the middle. And finally, after 4 missed opportunities, Norristown gets the rebound. Jessica Munson kicks it out to Kelly. Cresswell lets Munson set up the offense, and Strakowski gets the ball. Well, we're looking at almost 40 seconds or so without play stoppage. Munson comes up short on the field goal attempt that would have tied the game. Strakowski draws Misty Benefield. And Rinditz, the ball goes off her leg, I believe, and Norristown put quick. Kelly's caught from behind, which you don't see a whole lot, by Tara Herman, the 5'2" sophomore guard from Pennridge.
It's true, and Norristown, aggressive defensive play, stole the ball away, and then tried to show some of their athleticism and get down there with a breakaway.
We'll see if they can capitalize on that opportunity. Cresswell looking for Munson, who, as we said before, does a great job making herself big inside and being a big target for the entry pass into the paint. And there's Nancy Strakowski.
And I thought that was a 3. They only gave her 2, and she
Wait a minute, that was 3?
finally gets into the scoring column. Look at this.
Okay, well, Norristown ends up with the ball. Pennridge tries the baseball pass
Ooh,
again.
That's a big foul there, John. Jess Rindens picks up her 4th foul, and she's not too happy with that. It was a little touch foul, but Michelle Kane and Rosemary Trumbo, the great officials we've had tonight, have really been calling that kind of stuff, and Jess has got to be real careful now. She could foul out in the 3rd quarter. That's something that you don't rarely see, or you rarely see in girls basketball or boys basketball action.
Munson out to Cresswell. Munson with the rebound, puts it back up, and it's good. Is she left-handed? She shoots left-handed a lot.
She can shoot either hand, I think, and she's good with either hand. She's, like you said, whenever the ball is loose, that's where Jess Munson is.
Well, hello,
Yeah,
Jess
there it
Munson.
is
The ball
again.
is loose, and there she is.
Could be a reach, nothing.
Cresswell is the right place at the right time.
I would put the ball in the hands of Melissa Kelly right now. She's Jess Rindens. I'd put it in her hands and make Jess work for it, maybe get that 5th foul. You got to swing it over to her.
Yoder's got position inside on Zarka, but can't get the ball. Kelly swings it across to Strakowski, who's starting to feel it. That is a 3-pointer.
That's right.
Up and good. That's her 5th point. Well, good things are starting to happen in Norristown. They open up, and it's about a minute or so of lull, and the next thing you know, Strakowski has 5 points, a couple steals later, Jessica Munson a couple rebounds later, and Norristown's got a 5-point lead.
Yeah, and they went on an 0 run in the 3rd quarter, and the Rams are like, whoa, what's going on here? This is a totally different team. They seem to be a little more aggressive. Nancy Strakowski found her mark. She gets 2 quick baskets for 5 points.
Well, you had an incomplete puzzle. The missing piece
That's
was
right.
the support from the players besides Munson and Kelly, who really needed to step up, and Strakowski stepped up, almost on cue.
That's right.
Speaking of on cue, you can tell a good analyst by their predictions. And as Jessica Munson, right place, right time, 10 feet in front of us.
Right in front of us, too.
She came up with the ball.
You know, and she was being hounded down the line here by 2 players, and she still comes away smelling like roses. She is just one of those players that you want the ball in her hand, or hands.
Well, whether you want it in there or not, she gets it. And Norristown maintains the high-octane pressure defense. Strakowski making it difficult for Misty Benefield to get up the court. That right there looked almost like a practice drill, the way that she was having to stay in front of she was guarding. And Zarka, I believe, missed it. Yoder playing big inside, and it looks like Ruddiger.
No, it's going to be Zarka. I think it's going to be Terry Zarka foul. Yes, it is. That's her 3rd foul. Natalie Yoder playing aggressive basketball there, getting the rebound and pulling down a foul on Terry Zarka.
Well, they needed Strakowski and Yoder to step up. Strakowski stepped up. Yoder's trying to step up. And Jessica's pocket was picked from behind, and there's another foul called. What do you know on?
That's right. It looks like it's going to be Misty
Benefield.
Benefield. That's her 3rd foul. So Misty Benefield 3 fouls, Terry Zarka 3 fouls, and Jess Rindens, who is now on the bench with 4.
Well, some of those other players on the bench had better get their warm-up suits off, because at this pace, they're going to be in the game soon. Kelly does a beautiful job with the dribble penetration, but can't convert on the shot attempt. With 4:27 left to go here in the 3rd quarter, Norristown has a 31-26 lead. Ruddiger puts up an infrequent shot attempt and then gets tied up with Jessica Munson.
Unfortunately, she's on the losing end there. The possession arrow is pointing towards the Rams.
Norristown drops into its 2-3 zone on the inbound. They work the ball around to the opposite corner. The shot attempt is short by Benefield.
And that time, Norristown came out on a winning end, and it's still 31-26. Pennridge has not scored in the 3rd, and we have 4 minutes left in the 3rd.
Well, Melissa Kelly usually is at the other end of that transaction. That time, she was intercepted by Herman. And that's Melissa's third foul, which I don't really like saying very much, but I believe it's accurate.
Yep.
That's our unofficial scoring
And
record,
Tara
at least.
Herman is going to have a chance to put Pennridge on the board in the second half, going to the free throw line.
Well, that was good anticipation on the part of Herman, and usually you see number 20 for Norristown in that position where she's picking off a pass before the other team gets the ball to midcourt and then getting fouled, going for the fast break attempt. Well, at the midpoint of the third quarter, Pennridge had been scoreless, but Herman makes one of two from the line, 31-27 Norristown. They break the press via the center in the middle, which is the most effective way to do it. And the ball gets kicked out. It looked like she was going to have a good shot. Jessica Munson over the back of Ruddiger. And that's Munson's first.
Oh, well, thank goodness, because that was a touchy foul, but she did push off. Referees calling a real close game here, keeping it fair.
Well, they set a dangerous precedent in the early going, and they need to maintain the level of calls and how close they're calling it throughout the game, or else it's not very fair to either team.
That's a carry. That's a carry on number 23, Nicole Jarrett, has 2 points on the night.
Well, that's a turnover. That time it wasn't manufactured necessarily by a defensive steal, but just by general overall aggressive defensive play. And Kelly, once again, gets intercepted. I've never seen that happen twice in the same minute. Speaking of twice in the same minute, Munson's second foul. And she was in the act of shooting. So Nicole Jarrett will go to the line. Kelly getting a little lax in her handling of the ball.
I'm not sure there. I wish I had instant replay, John. And Melissa Kelly lost a handle on the ball, and there was a Pennridge player on the floor that impeded her from getting the ball again, but I thought she was close enough to the ball to just grab it. I think she was worried about a backcourt violation as well. Nicole
Shots
Jarrett,
up and good.
sorry, John. Nicole Jarrett now has 3 points. This is the first time she's been in the line, so she's 1 for 1. Hopefully I jinxed her.
Well, I'd like to see Norristown maybe work a little bit deeper into that press, and instead of trying to pass the west, maybe work it north-south when you get the ball right there where Cresswell has it, and not necessarily push it back straight across. That time they came out okay of it.
Nice move by
Strakowski
Strakowski.
ducks under, can't make the shot. Herman getting banged around a little bit in there by Yoder and Kelly. Pennridge works the ball up to the court.
Pennridge slowing it down a little bit. They need time to rest, I guess. Ruddiger doesn't look like she's doing anything there. She's just moving around in a circle. She really doesn't have any offensive skills.
Setting kind of a screen there on Kelly. And Herman takes it strong to the basket. Again, looking very Melissa Kelly-ish with that strong move to the hole. And she ties the game up.
Norristown's going scoreless now. They're on the losing end of a 5-0 run for Pennridge. So we're scoring in spurts. There's a traveling from Jess. Seems like Jess is a little bit off in the second half. She had 2 fouls. She has a traveling violation, and everything's falling apart for Jess.
This has been a game of spurts and runs, and right now it's in the favor of Pennridge as they came back in the third quarter with 2:26 left. The game's tied up at 31. And Norristown's got to be careful here as we near the 2-minute mark to make sure that the game remains as it is right now. Benefield with a shot from the corner, no good. Munson knocks the ball out of bounds in an attempt at a rebound. Trying to take away from Ruddiger. Pennridge inbounding the ball against the 2-3 Norristown defense. Nicole Jarrett screaming for the ball, but Herman the other side. Melissa Kelly.
That was a foul on number 22, Kristin Hazard. She threw an illegal screen there, and if the referee didn't call that, I was going to call it on her.
Well, I was nervous for a second that she was going to call it on 2-0 White, which is Melissa Kelly, and that was going to make me a little bit nervous.
Just the way Melissa reacted, it didn't look like the foul was on her.
Well, right here, I think they've got to take it. That's it right there. That's the pass they need to make. Put a little bit more pressure on the Rams and make him stretch it out a little bit. Shirkan and out. Yoder keeps the ball alive. Cresswell does a great job pulling down the rebound, going back up strong, puts Norristown back into the lead. And Cresswell has 6 points so far tonight. We've got 1:35 in the third. I'd like to see some more scoring out of Cresswell as Pennridge launches the shot. No good. Kind of an interesting foul.
That's another foul on Jess Munson. She picked up 3 quick fouls here in the third quarter.
I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Morgan had to go to her bench, at least to let the time run out in the third quarter. Jablonski and also Jackie Wade, who could probably come in and at least be a bridge to the fourth quarter for Munson, who you don't want to see with 4 fouls. But she is such a vital cog. Well, they got a travel. Could have been a foul, could have been a travel. Natalie Yoder stands her and holds her ground against the inexperienced Ruddiger. In any event, it is a turnover. Norristown once again goes long. It's been successful for them the last 2 times down. Shirkowski works the ball in. Yoder gets the ball blocked against Ruddiger. She finds herself on the floor. Just good defense. That's just one of those things where you can't coach height.
That's right. Ruddiger had the big stuff there, and that was probably the only thing she's done in the last 4 minutes.
She just happened to be taller than Yoder. Benfield's got to watch it there. Kelly almost kicked the ball out of her hand. Munson certainly hasn't let up on her defense. She's still very aggressive up top.
Fears no one.
Well, the ref getting a little coaching there from the Pennridge coach.
Foul's going to be on Strakowski.
That's Strakowski's third.
Norristown picking up the fouls pretty quickly here as Amy Jablonski waits to check in.
Well, all of a sudden you've got 3 Norristown players with 3 fouls. Strakowski, Munson, and Kelly, and Amy Jablonski comes in for Strakowski. Pennridge has the equivalent. As a matter of fact, they've got Benefield, Zarka, both with 3, and Jess Rinditz has 4.
And there's a big steal.
Miscue, Norristown streaks down the court. Jablonski goes right to the basket.
And she's got it. Oh, what a play there.
She did a great job. It looked almost as if Kelly was going to end up with the ball, but Jablonski thought better of it and did the wiser thing, avoided any potential turnover, and went right to the basket.
She went coast to coast on that one. She was the one who broke it up. She took the ball and she dribbled all the way down the court and to put up a layup. And you know, Amy Jablonski's not the tallest person, but she has a lot of heart, and she drove strong to the basket. She picks up 2 points for the basket and a foul shot. Hopefully she makes this, and they put the Eagles up by 5.
Characteristic of this Norristown team, you're going to find a lot of these players like the Jablonskis and the Cresswells and the Strakowskis step up at crucial times, and Coach Morgan lets Munson sit out, hopefully so she can make it into the fourth quarter with just 3 fouls and gives her a chance to rest and catch her breath.
Look at Jablonski. She's all over it. The ball. Look at
She is. She gets some help from Kelly, and it looks like they should be a jump ball called, but nothing's called there at all. And traveling right there, I saw it travel, and the ref saw it about a second after I did on Nicole Jared, and that's a turnover.
Natalie Yoder said, hey, there's a substation down in Norristown. Why don't you take that line?
I believe she handed her a token as well. I'm
That's
not
right.
sure. Difficult to see. She's got quick hands. Kelly goes down long against Jarrett. They're in a 3-on-2 situation. Jablonski pulls it back out to Kelly, who goes long range from 3 with 17 seconds. And I think that's her 6th attempt. She finally makes good on one, which is a great thing to see.
Norristown goes up by 8. We have a blocking foul on Jablonski.
Well, Norristown is up by 8, and that is Melissa Kelly's 8th point. Seconds remain in the third quarter.
That's one of those fouls there, John, where you're chasing down the person with the ball, and I hear coaches yelling it all the way, cut it off, cut it off, cut it off. I hear it in college and I hear it in high school. Got to cut that ball off. You can't be chasing the girl down.
Well, kind of a semi-backdoor attempt there, and ends up in the hands of Jen Strauss, who converts. Time expires on the inbound, and Norristown, who was down by 2 at the half, comes up with an 8-point advantage for the quarter, and that leaves them in a 6-point lead. We head into the fourth quarter, Neil. What do you see as the key to a victory for Norristown as we enter the final quarter?
Well, we got to put Jess Munson back in the game. Although she has 3 fouls, she seems to be the field general out there, and we have all her soldiers out there. We got Melissa Kelly, who just shot a 3-pointer. We got Nancy Strakowski, who, you know, has been a little quiet tonight. Usually she's up in the 7 to 9 point range right now, but she hit a 3-pointer and a key field goal when they needed it. And you have Melissa Kelly, who's playing great defense, and you got somebody like Amy Jablonski, who's probably not going to come, not going to the fourth quarter because Jess is going to be there. But you got all the supporting cast that Norristown has to ride them to victory. And a comment They were down by 2 points. They outscored them 15-7 in that third quarter. Any more of that kind of play from Norristown, and this game is all over.
Well, that was a big quarter, and as we go into the fourth quarter, we've seen a very crisp, tight game, a great game called by the referees, and we're going into the fourth quarter, and it's going to continue to be that way as these girls scrap harder and harder as we get down to the wire.
Did the referee pay you to say that?
Certainly not. She's
standing right in front of us.
I'm an aficionado, and this happens to be one of the better games I've seen.
That's right. I agree. Jess Rindens is back in the game. She has 4 fouls and 12 points for the Rams, and the Rams need her. They missed a lot of scoring from her in the third quarter.
Pennridge gets the ball into Rindis' hands, and she's working against Nancy Strakowski, and she's up. That looked like a good shot, but she comes off short. Rebound in the hands of Melissa Kelly, and she has nothing else on her mind, but I'm going to the hole, baby.
Coast to coast, baby.
Burt's,
2 there.
She's in double digits. That's her 10th point, and let's see her do that a couple more times, and I'll be starting to feel better about the outcome of the game.
There's my favorite player, Amy Jablonski. Look at those hands. She's constantly have a hand in someone's face, and that's the key to good defense right there. Just keep harassing your player until they get nervous and they make a mistake.
Well, I think we're going to see that Nancy Strakowski, as the ball is up, it's a 2-point shot by Jen Strauss. Jess Rinditz made that one happen. She's really doing a good job drawing some attention. I think someone's going to need to slide over and help Strakowski on that guard situation. Strakowski puts it up no good. I believe the ref said it hit the wire up top. So Norristown turns the ball over. Pennridge will get it with 7:01 left to go, and they're down by 6 points. Norristown's up 41-35. Benefield working against Jablonski.
You know, I'm not getting paid by Amy Jablonski or her family, but she's playing some really tough defense, and I got to bring up a former player that went to Norristown here, Omar Jenkins, who we nicknamed the Flea when we coached or when we commentated the boys' games. Mr. Nelson and Mr. Winkle called him the Flea, and Omar died suddenly in a car accident recently. Oh, and Natalie goes to the floor. And Omar was one of those players that constantly harassed his player till he finally gave up the ball. And Amy Jablonski reminds me a lot of Omar right now, where she's getting in the offensive face and really, really harassing him.
Well, there are a few compliments higher than that on behalf of Amy Jablonski. And she does another nice job there on offense, finding the open person in Jessica Munson, who had set up a tent and a full camp. She had just started the bonfire when Amy Jablonski fed her the ball. And Jessica Munson's going to the line. She's going to try to build on her 14 points so far today.
That's right, and that's one of the supporting roles I was talking about. Somebody that can get the ball into Jess's hands. Amy Jablonski saw it there. She saw the opportunity. She gave it to Jess, and Jess picked up, was able to draw the other foul.
Munson makes it again. I think she's only missed 1 free throw tonight. She's roughly around 7 of 8 from the line tonight, which is great. She fronts that one off the rim. But the Norristown leads at 5. There's Rinditz with another one of those circus-type shots, and she goes up and under with a scoop shot. And that puts Pennridge within 3 points with 6:15 left to go in the fourth quarter. Tries to go up against Ruddiger for some reason. Thought she could get the ball up, and again, Ruddiger, probably not the most skilled of athletes as a freshman at this point. I'm sure she'll find it later on down the line, but right now, her effectiveness is in the fact that she's 6'2". You can't coach height. And that time she used it to her advantage. Strakowski gets the ball back up top to Jablonski, and back over to Strakowski, who finds the 3 and hits all portions of the rim, bounces out. Rinditz with the rebound. 5.5 minutes left. Jackie Cresswell getting set to come back in the game, probably for Jablonski.
You know, there's 10 girls on the floor right now who really, really want to win this ball game. Each team is really starting to play aggressive ball and a real physical game, and Pennridge calls the time. It's really good to see. It's good to see 2 teams really battling it out, and no one really laxing, no one giving up. They're only down by 3 points. It's been a close game all game, and every girl out there is playing 100%. And I guess I'm a little biased, but I really like to watch these girls' games. It seems like everyone's playing as a cohesive unit. Watching the boys' games, sometimes it's like a one-man show. Everyone puts blinders on, and they just want to to bulk up their point totals. I don't know who to blame for that. I don't know if that's the coach or whether that's society or whatever, but I guess they see that kind of stuff in the NBA and they think, well, I got to get double figures too, and they just put on the blinders and they just try to score as many points as they can without playing a team game, and usually it works out for the best. Usually the Norristown comes out with a victory, but sometimes they don't, and that's a shame. And I like to see girls who are playing as a unit, and not any one person taking over the scoring. Melissa Kelly has 10 and Jessica Munson has 15, but Strakowski and Cresswell and Yoder and all the girls are all to the victory right now, or to the lead. And not to take anything away from the Rams either. I know I'm talking a lot, John, but the Rams are playing a tough game too. I mean, we've been talking about Ruddiger. She only has 2 points, but she's been there when she needs it. A couple block shots, and this Jess Rindens, 14 points, and she's just seemed to be the backbone for the team.
Well, Misty Benefield in what looks like some kind of a catapult launching from the foul line, a left-handed kind of an operation that she's got going on there, is up and good, and that puts Pennridge 2. Let's take a look at this shooting style. Yeah!
Yeah.
It's good. Well, maybe I should have adopted that style. I wasn't that successful from the line. She walks away 2-2 with that. Kelly and Munson together beat the press. 5:15 to go in the game. Kelly appearing content to let some of the clock run down as Norristown holds a 1-point advantage. Jess Rinditz is on her, who probably can't play that aggressive of defense situation. Well, Ruddiger stands up, and with her hands up, she's not 6'2" anymore. She's about 7'8".
She picked up a foul, though, John. That's going to be, I believe, her second foul. And it puts Jess Munson. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been missing a couple fouls there. Ruddiger has 4. Ruddiger with 4 fouls, so that puts her in foul trouble, too. Jess Rindens with 4, Jenna Ruddiger with 4, and Jess Munson back to the line for 2.
Jess has been successful all season long from the paint, and she's been successful from the line. She connects on another. But she did a good job, wasn't hesitant at all to take it up against a taller opponent. And that resulted in her getting to the line and building on the Norristown lead, increasing it to 3. 44-41, and even 5 minutes left to go in the game. Benefield with a deuce. 43-44.
She looked real confident there.
She did. Usually that's what happened, unless you sit and think about it. Munson tries to track down the ball coming across the court from Melissa Kelly. And again, that's one of the situations where you work against the press and continuously go east and west, and your players are running north and south. Sometimes the ball ends up out of bounds, and that's a turnover caused by the Pennridge defense, who rivals, in a lot of ways, the aggressiveness of the Norristown defense.
That's right.
Rinditz got great handle on the ball. She's working to try to find either an open shot or an open teammate. Norristown, or the Pennridge coach, shouting out instructions as the game is in progress, and Benefield, who had just hit a shot, goes up with another one after she gets kind of brushed by Melissa Kelly. She can't make the shot.
That might have been a home court foul or a home court miss there. I thought there was a foul there.
I think the refs are doing an outstanding job. Benefield inbounds the ball against the 2-3, finds an open player who goes up basket. There's the height of Ruddiger. We really need a little bit more boxing out here on behalf of Norristown in order to get the rebound. Pennridge keeps it alive. But Nicole Jarrett, off the original inbound, had a great opportunity, and as soon as the ball went up, everyone looked up to the basket instead of finding their man or their person to box out. Well, Kelly trying to take the charge. Refs didn't see it that way. And Rinditz goes from way downtown, a little bit long off the heel. Ruddiger finds herself with the ball, and she's not very successful.
Finally, Norristown gets the ball. They've been under that basket for almost a minute and 20 seconds.
Well, they got to be getting dizzy from looking up at the rim that much. They should call a timeout and try to get their bearings. I hope they're all okay after staring up in the air that long. And Kelly that time does go north-south, and they easily break the Pennridge pressure. Well, after looking up at the other rim for so long, some of these girls might develop vertigo. It's 44-43. Norristown is holding the lead and holding the ball at the same time.
Coach Morgan calls the play in.
Well, Pennridge is not yet into panic mode, and they're kind of letting Norristown do what they want with it. Strakowski waiting for Benefield. Back up top to Strakowski.
Playing that four
She's doing
offense.
She's doing a great job using that pivot foot, and Kelly working against the pressure across to Strakowski. And they have milked a good 35 seconds off the clock. At this point, there's 2 minutes and 39 seconds to go in the game. Norristown's up 44-43, working a beautiful Dean Smith four corners.
That's right. They're just looking for that one little mistake that Pennridge makes. So far, they haven't made it.
Well, this is a drill a lot of coaches do in practice for 15 minutes or so, where you basically just try to keep it against usually the JVs for as long as you can without throwing the ball away. And this is where that drill becomes very valuable as we approach the 2-minute mark.
And what you don't want to do is become frustrated. You want to frustrate the defense. You want to get them on the edge. Melissa Kelly going for the shot.
Well, she saw a seam and she tried to take it. She did get the ball off, but she misses the shot. And that's the question, where the question of, are you actually milking the clock on your other team's behalf comes into play.
That's right. We're under 2 minutes now, John, and it's a 1-point game for Norristown.
Well, this is another exciting game here at Norristown Area High School. I'd like to thank Sam Galbraith, who's working the camera for us, doing an exceptional, outstanding job. As Kelly gets to the floor, doesn't want the travel called against her, and calls a timeout, avoiding a turnover. And there's 36 seconds left to go. And once again, Neil, Norristown Area High School girls basketball is a worthwhile investment to come down and see these girls play. It's down to the wire. We'd like to thank us on suburban cable television, but if you get a chance to see them in person, it's that much more fun.
Yeah, it is a great time out here, and you get to see some really good action. I think every game we've had on TV has been exciting. Either, a 1-point game or a 2-point game. A couple games there got away from the opponent, and Norristown pulled away, but it's really exciting, and it's better to be here and support Norristown athletics. You don't pay anything to see it on TV. You pay your cable bill every month, but to come down, lay down a couple bucks and support Norristown athletics, I hope to see more fans out, and maybe in the playoffs we'll see more fans. It seems like a lot of fans come out just for the playoffs, and unfortunately they should come out for the whole season.
Well, a big thank you to Suburban Cable TV for giving us the opportunity to provide this community school athletic action to you in the comfort of your own home. It's kind of a miserable night out tonight. But if you do get a chance to come out, make sure that you head out to the snack bar. They're selling some tasty snacks. My fiance Kelly took it. I believe she had a Hershey bar this evening, and it goes to all into the girls' athletic program kitty, which I'm sure that they can use.
This is a key play right here, John. Norristown, if they can score, they can go up by 3 points. It'll be 46-43. They got to use the clock to their advantage, and it's now a minute. Pennridge has got to think about fouling.
Well, for the last couple minutes, Pennridge was content just to let the clock run out, but at some point, Coach Zamrush is going to push the panic button. Hopefully he'll have to. Hopefully Norristown went over on their own, and there's 53 seconds left to go in the contest.
The three girls who are handling the ball right now are pretty good from the free throw line, so you don't want to foul them. You want to wait for someone like Natalie Yoder, but she's been okay from the line tonight.
Whoa,
too, so.
Melissa's got to watch her foot on that line, and there's a gamble by Benefield. Doesn't pay off, but there's some crisp passing up near half court.
Unbelievable.
Well, I'd like to see Cresswell and Yoder get a little bit closer so they could utilize them. Well, there's the panic button foul. Herman kind of looking a little bit confused. She definitely gets a good meat hook on Kelly and sends her to the line with 28 seconds. Now, if you're going to gamble on one of those three people at the line tonight, Kelly unofficially is about 3 of, I'd say, 7.
And they're going to try to put her on ice.
And Pennridge calls a timeout. Now 3 of 7, you're playing the odds there.
Yeah, you didn't want to foul Jessica Munson. She's been really hot from the free throw line tonight. But hey, Melissa can pull it out right here. She can make both of them, put them up by 3, and then Pennridge has to go for the big shot.
She's a clutch player, and I'm sure through the ranks she's been in this situation plenty of times. So she's felt the heat before, and it doesn't get a whole lot hotter than this. As Norristown tries to build on a league win against a quality opponent, heading in, as we said, to the postseason with our eyes on the big prize in the district playoffs. So we've seen a great game all around. It's been a real battle, both sides of the court Jackie Cresswell has done a great job on both sides. Nancy Strakowski hit a key three-point shot and built some momentum going into the third quarter. Shipped in well. Melissa Kelly, as always, did a great job with a lot of handle. Hit a key three-pointer as well here in the second half, and she'll have a chance to increase the Norristown lead with a couple of foul shots here. And Natalie Yoder's done a great job chipping in. And as we said all night, Jessica Munson's been there. Wherever it took, she's been there the whole time. Kelly hits her foul shot. A clutch foul shot.
She needs to make this one and put it a little bit out of reach. They haven't been shooting 3 points well. I think they only have 2 3-pointers all night. And she puts a little bit of a cushion there for Norristown.
Well, she makes it look easy.
Playing some defense here with 26 seconds to go.
Kelly made it look easy. I don't know why she missed all those early on.
Not a bad foul. You know, that's not a bad foul at all. She's going to go to the line. Can this girl shoot? Can Misty Benefield shoot? I don't have the great statistics like you do, John, but
well,
hey,
this is the left-handed catapult specialist.
The most she can make here is 2 points, and then Norristown will be up by 1. That's sort of a smart foul.
Kelly's fourth foul.
Yeah, Melissa has 4 though. You got to watch that.
And once again, I want to draw the attention to the fact. Well, there goes Ruddiger off the court. I was going to say she's certainly not. Well, they're going to send the second tallest person on the court back. They send Zarka back. She's not in a position to rebound, and I find that a little bit unusual, especially with 22 or almost 23 seconds left in the game, 22.8 seconds to go.
I would have put Jess Rindage back because she seems to be a little bit tougher on defense, but maybe they think they're going to get a breakaway. I don't know. She makes the first one. Now this game's really close.
Benefield hits the shot. 2-point advantage currently held by Norristown, 46-44. Both teams in the bonus. Yoder and Munson underneath for Norristown. Let's hope they do a good job. Well, they didn't have to.
Coach Morgan's calling a timeout.
Heads to the bench with a 1-point advantage, Neil. Give me what Coach Morgan's saying.
Oh, I really can't. I can't second guess what she's saying. I would think you want to have Melissa Kelly or maybe Jess Munson bring the ball, and she seems to be the one girl to go to, and have Melissa Kelly bring it up. She made 2 free throws down the stretch. You know, get it in her hands, and maybe they'll take another foul, put her back to the line, and they'll get another shooting opportunity. But you got someone like Melissa Kelly who can dribble out of almost any situation. You get the ball to her, she'll dribble maybe 5 or 6 seconds off the clock, and maybe get to the free throw line. Plus, you got to have someone like Strakowski and Cresswell probably playing on the wings. And Natalie Yoder in the center there to be an outlet. So I really think Norristown broken any press that the Rams have put on tonight, and hopefully they can do it again. As here it is, Jess Munson's bringing the ball in. You have Melissa Kelly and Jackie Cresswell on the wings. Nancy Strakowski a little bit deep.
Well, I think the most success we've seen, and they have had some trouble with the Pennridge press as they were trying to pass the ball across to each other. And let's see them break it out north-south, and Herman immediately finds Melissa Kelly and puts a hurt on her, sends her to the line, and I'm not sure up with the foul situation. Not that it matters with this amount of time left, but Herman, I guess just has a couple.
Yeah.
I thought she was in worse shape than that. Not that it matters with 21.5 seconds left. Let's see if Melissa Kelly can continue her clutch free throw shooting.
Ooh, that's a key one. That's a key one. She's got to make the second one. Although Pennridge is up to 10 fouls, so it's a two-shot foul, and that may come back again.
Well, the Pennridge fans are getting quite trying to throw Kelly off, and they did okay with it. But
that's
Nancy
great.
Strakowski does a great job keeping the ball alive, gets it back into Kelly's hands, who dribbles until she gets fouled, and now there's 18.7 seconds. That wasn't even a 3-second long exchange.
Yeah, Strakowski got the tip there, tipped it right back out to Melissa Kelly, and Melissa now has an opportunity to try to do it again. She missed 2 there. She'd like to make these 2 and put another nail in the coffin.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't see Kelly makes it. I don't see a spot on my score here for what Nancy Strakowski just did. I wish there was, because that was as valuable as any shot, rebound, or assist that we've seen so far tonight.
That's right. Pennridge could have come down and scored, and they could have taken a lead. Now Norristown has a 3-point lead with 17 seconds to go.
Benefield, the corner to Herman for the 3-point attempt. They're trying to go for the tie with one fell swoop.
Over the back, I'm sure.
It goes long, and there are going to be some more foul shots here. Cresswell finds her opportunity to shine with 8 seconds left, and she'll go to the...
I think the foul was on number 23, Nicole Jared. That was over the top. Obvious foul there. That's her third foul.
Cresswell so far has 6 points. It's been a relatively quiet game for her. She turned in a solid performance overall, but these are some big foul shots because Pennridge is still 1 3-point shot attempt away. Well, unless the 3-point shooter gets fouled, they're going to need 2 possessions to take this game to the Lady Eagles. Cresswell hits.
You know, one of the Pennridge fans over there saying, let's have a free throw shooting contest. Hey, a foul's a foul, bud. Check the handbook.
Cresswell hits both. She's got 8 points for the evening, 8 key points, especially the last two. It's 50-45, 3-point attempt by Rinditz. Looked good, came off the rim. Yoder gets the ball and gets tomahawked from behind. She's going to go to the line. Now we've got a free throw shooting contest, except that it's all Norristown. We've got 2/10 of a second.
I really think I would have let that one go if I was a referee. 2/10 of a second, but hey,
they hate game, and this
right.
gives Natalie Yoder a chance to pad her scoring average. And not.
Oh, and we just got technical from the bench on Pennridge. Coach Walt Zamroz, and he's got
still
another
going
technical.
at it.
He's
He's
just
going to have to
ejected
leave
from the
gym.
game. That's the first time I've seen that in girls basketball in a long time.
Well, he's going to have some work
for
for
it. He's still going at her.
Well, what was probably a 5-point victory is going to turn probably into more than that, as Yoder will shoot her 2 points.
Well,
got
let's
2
see if
points.
he can make a real jerk of himself now. He tried to go open the door, and he couldn't open the door, and the Norristown fans give him a big round of applause as he leaves. Walt Zamroz gets tossed from the game. Now he's out in the lobby, probably kicking a couple chairs, doing a little Bobby Knight action.
Well, you can't really fault the refs. They've called the game consistently all game long, as we said before. We're kind of joking about it a little bit, but I mean, if you're going to call the game one way, it's fair on both sides. At this point, a foul isn't going to matter that much with 2/10 of a second left to go in the game. But Yoder's going to have a chance.
You know, it's not going to make any difference in the game, John, but it's going to make a difference with your team. Your team sees you get 2 quick technicals like that. That's an attitude problem that the coach, and he's out there looking at us now. That's sort of an attitude that you dictate to your players. Is that the kind of attitude you want to dictate? There's only 2/10 of a second left. Why get kicked out of the game? You're not going to win the game. You already have a 5-point deficit facing you, and then you get 2 technicals, and, you know, this is going to go down in the scorebook. Now, Natalie missed both those shots, but now Jackie Cresswell has a chance of making 2. And that's going to go down in the scorebook as a bigger victory for Norristown, and it really wasn't. It was just a little bit of anger on the part of the coach there. You know, that's the way it goes. Coach Zamroz, I guess, has a lot of experience, and his team is 9-4 in the league.
Well, we're going to send another shooter to the line. Strzykowski's going to go. And Pennridge fans were asking for a foul shooting contest, and that's certainly what they got. Yoder couldn't make either of hers. Cresswell makes 1. Strzykowski gets a chance. She makes 1.
There was a foul, and then there was 2 technicals, so that's 6 free throws altogether.
And then Norristown will get the ball again.
That's right.
Strzykowski hits another one. Well, I think Norristown's just going to throw the ball in. They'll probably get killed again unless, well, the assistant coach from Pennridge appears to be calling them off. They're just going to let the game clock run out, which is a wise move at this point. 8 points there's no such thing as an 8-point shot. Well,
now that was unnecessary.
That
there.
was a foul, but
well, you know, hey,
let it go. Benefield
Melissa shakes it off.
Goes right up to Kelly and apologizes.
Now here comes the assistant coach. Now he's yelling at the referee. What is this to prove?
Well, they might need escorts.
This is what I hope that high school basketball never comes to. They had that incident down in Philadelphia where the player punched the referee. Now we have the coaches going at the referee. I think that's really unsportsmanlike conduct, and it doesn't set a good example for either team. The game is over by 8 points. Get on the bus and go home, and don't stand and berate the referees. They called a good game going both ways. You want to check the game film? We have a videotape. We'll make it available. John, looking at the scoring for Pennridge, Jess Rindins had 14 points. Tara Herman had 10. Misty Benefield had 4, and Nicole Jared had 4. How about for Norristown?
Norristown unofficially was led by Jessica Munson, who had 15. Melissa Kelly had 14, and most of those came in the second half when they really counted. Jackie Cresswell had 9 with the benefit of the technical foul shots and going to the line of the game. Nancy Strzykowski finished with 7, also with some technical foul shots. Natalie Yoder chipped in with 3, and Amy Jablonski had 2 points, and that amounts to a 53-45 final score. Back and forth. We'll rejoin you with a post-game show. Well, welcome back once again to Norristown Area High School for the Suburban Cable Television broadcast of the Norristown Lady Eagles against the Pennridge Rams, where they emerged victorious 53-45, but it was a very hard-fought game. A lot of blood and sweat remained on the court. That doesn't even get to the players yet. The coach from Pennridge certainly made himself heard this evening in a situation that we have seldom seen here before, Neil.
He gets 2 quick technicals and gets thrown out of the game. And like I said, that just sort of dictates an attitude to your players. Walt Zamraz was really angry there, and there was only 0.2 of a second left. I didn't think he had to do it. But nonetheless, Norristown pulls out a victory, then they win, and they move to 6-8 in the league and 10-10 overall, so they're now at a 500 record. Pennridge drops to 9-5 in the league with a 13-8 overall record. Now we're looking on to district playoffs. We have one more home game back here, Central Bucks East, which is senior night, where they're going to honor the seniors on the team and honor the whole team for their dedication so far. And looking on the district playoffs, hey, if Norristown plays this kind of game in the districts, I think we can go a little far.
Well, Pennridge came in with a nice record, and they're going to leave with a loss tonight, but they were one of the quality opponents, tied for first place in the league, and it really was a nice building block for Norristown to leave their home gym tonight with a victory, and it'll be a nice way to build some momentum, hopefully that momentum on Friday against Central Bucks East to carry over into the playoffs.
All right, so we're looking for post-season action for the Eagles. We talked about that before. They're going to a seeding meeting this Saturday at Abington. They're going to choose teams and see who we can get. Hey, we'll probably see Pennridge in those 30 teams. They look like a tough team.
Yeah, well, I would imagine we'll fall somewhere into the middle of the pack, possibly the lower middle of the pack. But it'll be interesting because, as we've seen on this court many times so far this year, Neil, Norristown can put a team on the floor that is competitive with the best opponents so far in District 1 that they played during the regular season.
Talking about tough opponents, they have a tough opponent coming up back here for home against Central Bucks East. They're always a tough team. They're a real aggressive team. I coach cross country, and every time we go up against CB East, it's a battle. And they're tough in every sport. They're tough in football, and they're tough in cross country, and they're tough in basketball, and we should see a great game here.
Well, they're going to bring a great team onto the court here on Friday night. They are ranked in the area, and we'll see if Norristown can continue their winning ways on Friday. So once again, thanks for joining us here for the Suburban Cable Television from Norristown Area High School of Girls Basketball. We hope to see you either down here or for the game as we broadcast it in the coming weeks.